I promise you brisket is easier than you think. You may have heard it's complicated or seen a million methods to do it. This is by far the simplest, incredibly flavorful, melts in your mouth. You're gonna knock it out of the park on your first try.
The rendered fat in brisket is a special flavor.
Let's jump right into our quick and easy backyard brisket with the brisket trim. Now, I have taught classes, I have been in classes, I have cooked a million briskets, I have cooked restaurant briskets, comp briskets, you name it, I have trimmed it that way. But when I'm cooking a brisket in my backyard for my friends and family, this is how I do my brisket trim. We're gonna start on this back side here. We're gonna take off this big half moon shaped piece of fat. It's not gonna render down during the cooking process, and it's not gonna taste great. Just kind of take it out, even it out as much as we can. Now these little pieces of fat on the back, if there's any that are loose, I'll grab my knife and take those off as well. But I'm not gonna be surgical here. I'm not gonna get in here with an X-Acto knife or anything. If there's little pieces left over, to me, that is just fine. We're gonna turn our attention up here to the point of the brisket. You can see there are two overlapping muscles right here, but this big hunk of fat, I don't really need. So I'm just gonna take my knife, I come around the edge here and just start to trim that away. I'll do more once I flip it to the top. If you didn't take these pieces off, your brisket would just cook a little bit unevenly. You'd have pieces that would burn and they would not be delicious. What we're looking for is a uniformity in shape and size here so that we can get a nice even cook on this low and slow brisket. I'm happy with where we're at on the back of this brisket. Like I said, quick and easy. Am I gonna impress any KCBS competition cooks? No, but I'm not feeding them, so it doesn't matter. Next up is the top of our brisket. What we wanna do here is, again, uniformity. That's kind of the name of the game. So there's a really thick, you can see it over here, really thick piece of hard fat that runs kind of along the outer side of our briskets. I want to trim this down to where I have about 1/4 inch of fat across the top on the whole brisket. First time I ever cooked a brisket, okay? Maybe this is your first time cooking a brisket. I want to give you a little bit of a story time, maybe a little bit of confidence. I did not know how to cook a brisket. I just knew that I wanted to cook a brisket and that I should cook a brisket. And if I was getting into barbecue, brisket was like the Mac Daddy of all meat. So I felt like it was this Everest that I had to conquer. So I read everything that I could read online, which 15 years ago was basically nothing. There were a couple of forums with people who refused to share any of their insider secrets. And all I read was salt and pepper and smoke it forever. So I salt and peppered it and I smoked it forever. And I ended up with a brisket that more closely resembled a meteor than a piece of meat. The edges were like jerky, it was salty, it was peppery, but it was not delicious. I wrapped it in aluminum foil because I thought that was gonna help. It wasn't great. The next time, cooked another brisket. This time we under-seasoned the brisket because I thought, well, that was too much salt and pepper that time. Not enough seasoning. I think it probably took me a good 7 or 8 briskets until I really felt comfortable. And then I did what a lot of pitmasters do. I started to overcomplicate it. I started to say, well, maybe if I do this, it'll be better, or this, it'll be better. Maybe if I change this seasoning, it'll be better. But now, after 15 years of cooking briskets and hundreds of briskets cooked, this is the method that I come back to. Simple, easy, classic, not overwhelming, just a few steps, the right amount of seasoning and the right process. And instead of gatekeeping, like the forum masters of yesteryear did on the internet, we're sharing all the tips because we want it to be approachable. We want it to be fun. And truly, I want your first brisket to be a success. There are little spots where my fat's a little bit thinner or a little bit thicker. Guess what? That's okay. It's okay. We're not going for perfect. Now that I have my fat cap where I want it across the top, it's time to trim up these sides. You can see down here is really thin. Over here is quite thick. I'm gonna round out the edge of my brisket, just all the way across right here. Oh yeah, I should definitely sharpen this knife for sure. Because this little flat piece It is what it is. I didn't. This little flat piece would just burn while it's on the smoker. But don't worry, see this pile? This doesn't have to be trash, but we're setting it aside for now because I don't want it on my brisket. Okay, next up is kind of trimming up these sides and squaring up these sides. So I'll just run my knife along the edge right here, take off anything that's not in the flow, in the feng shui, I don't even know, what's the word I want to say?
I like feng shui.
Yeah, we need our brisket to be aesthetic. See how my brisket kind of looks like a bean? Aerodynamic, it's beautiful. It's even all the way across. I have some nice fat that's even across the top and the bottom. I don't have any edge pieces that are gonna burn. Basically, that's all you need. It doesn't have to be too tricky. Quick and dirty brisket trim. I save my brisket trimmings. If they have meat on them like this, a portion of meat and fat, these pieces go into a Ziploc bag and they go into my freezer. And when I have enough of them, I grind it up and I make my own brisket burger ground beef. Absolutely phenomenal. Burgers, chili, you name it, so delicious. The fat you can render down into brisket tallow, and you can use the tallow for cooking potatoes. You can use it to add extra fat and moisture to your brisket during the wrapping phase. Lots of uses. So you will trim a lot off, but it's not going to waste. So now we season on all sides. I'm gonna be seasoning with beefy sprinkles. You really can just season your brisket with salt and pepper. But if you're doing this, make a couple of specific choices here. Use a coarse ground black pepper and a coarse kosher salt. If you're using table pepper and table salt, like I did my first time, your brisket's gonna be over seasoned. It's gonna be gross because table salt is really fine and you can end up putting too much on. So you want the coarse kosher salt so you get the right amount of salt, and you want the coarse black pepper to help you build up a nice barky crust on the outside of your brisket. Now this brisket is going directly on the smoker. I like a cold brisket on the smoker. It picks up more smoke flavor. We're gonna run this at 225 overnight. The first night smoke, we just go to sleep and we let the pellet smoker do its work, obviously monitoring temperatures. This is the easiest brisket ever, and we should be able to sleep while we're cooking it. So we put this on around 11 o'clock. I will see you first thing tomorrow morning to get this brisket wrapped. Good morning. It's day 2. I slept great last night. The brisket slept great last night. And first thing in the morning, it's time to wrap our brisket. So this has been on about 8 to 9 hours. We're looking for a target temperature of about 165 degrees, 175 degrees, anywhere in that range where I have a nice dark color on the outside of my brisket. It's ready for the second step, which is wrapping. It's very simple. Wrapping a brisket helps with moisture and flavor. My favorite thing to wrap in is peach butcher paper. It is basically unwaxed parchment paper, lets the brisket breathe, still get a little bit of that smoky flavor, keeps all the juices in. Also, remember the tallow that I trimmed off yesterday that I told you not to throw away? I didn't throw it away. I put it into an aluminum pan. It slept next to the brisket last night, so now I have some nice smoky tallow that I'm gonna use in wrapping this brisket as well. It's gonna keep things moist, it's gonna keep things juicy and delicious. Brisket is on the smoker. We're keeping it at 225, probably the next 4 hours. So usually I will wrap this first thing in the morning, just before breakfast. By lunch, it's ready to come off the smoker. I'm looking for an internal temperature in my brisket between 202 to 204 degrees Fahrenheit. My sweet spot's about 203. I want it to be nice and squishy and tender, and then it's ready to rest. It's lunchtime. To recap, we put this on last night to smoke. We wrapped it this morning. It's been about 4.5, almost 5 hours. So we're testing for temperature. Yes, I like my briskets to be at least 195, popping up into that like 200 degree range, but most importantly is texture. I want my thermometer probe sliding in and out of that meat like it's sliding into room temperature butter. And when you squish it with your hands, you want to feel some nice bend in that brisket. You want it to have a good amount of give. And this brisket feels perfect. Having this done at noon means that I have about 5 or 6 hours of rest time before I'm serving this brisket to family and friends. I like to wrap it up in a towel, throw it in a cooler, and give it several hours to just relax. And then it will be at the perfect serving temperature when we're ready to slice and eat. It's time for dinner. And it smells like brisket in this cooler. I do recommend not using your favorite indoor towels because they will smell smoky forever. Oh, this brisket feels good. That's a good feeling brisket right there. Are you ready for the big reveal? This is always my favorite brisket moment. The unveiling. Oh my gosh, it's so juicy. I know a lot of people get nervous about brisket, and I get it. This is a big cut of meat, but this was very simple. This is our overnight, easiest version of a brisket ever. You can definitely pull this off. Now, slicing a brisket is important, but it also can be easy. So we see these two muscles right here. We've got our flat, we've got our point. They run in two different directions, so we have to slice them in two different directions. So I kind of lean a little bit beyond half, smaller side of the point, larger side of the flat, make one single cut. This is kind of the brisket money shot right here. Are we ready? This is where we see how it did. This is exactly what we want our brisket to look like. We've got a gorgeous smoke ring, beautiful bark, and everything is nice and juicy. So now it's time to slice up our flat. This is the leaner side of the brisket. So this is our beautiful sliced lean part of our brisket, and these edge pieces right here, cut those into cubes. People who love the barky edges, gobble those pieces up first. Your brisket should give you a nice, see this bend right here? It folds over the knife, and when you pull it, just like this, just gently breaks apart. See that stretch, that spring? That's a very well-cooked brisket. And when you do the bend test and break your first piece, then you have something to snack on while you slice the rest. Now we have our flat beautifully sliced. It's time to slice up our point. We take this edge piece right here. That will also become yummy nuggets of deliciousness over here. This is Todd's favorite bite on the whole brisket. And then similar to our flat, we just slice all the way across against the grain. I think anytime you smoke your brisket for the first time, it's intimidating. Those big cuts can seem overwhelming, but honestly, they became popular in barbecue because the cooking method makes them great. That low and slow cooking is gonna give you beautifully rendered fat, tons of flavor, and it's gonna make these, big, beefy, muscular cuts approachable and delicious. We are gonna drizzle this fat over the top of it. Now I already have my sample piece from slicing, which means it's time to bring in Todd, and I would bet actual dollars of what piece he goes for first. Should we take bets?
That one.
I was so wrong.
No, it's
100%. You were teasing, right? You never go for the leans first. You always grab a fatty. Burn end. I'm kind of jealous, actually. I want to trade mine. I want a fatty burn end bite too. Or everybody takes them first. So you, as the cook, get to be the first one to get the best bite of brisket.
It's fatty, it's moist, it's juicy, it's flavorful.
They're like little savory meat marshmallows.
The rendered fat in brisket is a special flavor.
I need you to let me know in the comments, have you cooked a brisket? Will this be your first brisket? What's your favorite method for cooking brisket? Because this is our go-to. If we're doing a brisket on the weekends, this is exactly how we cook it at home. And it's kind of a no-fail situation for us. So I hope you give this method a try, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, because we'll be back in our backyard with awesome recipes just like this one for you every single week. So we'll see you next time.
Look at that color, man.
This was a really good brisket.